right, thanks a lot, Riaz. 8:31 right now. What the heck happened to summer? This is the last day of August, and it's supposed to be gorgeous outside, but it feels more like the middle of fall when you have a look outside the window here. As we kick off our Storm Center coverage this morning with a live look outside, yuck, that pretty much sums things up. It is still raining cats and dogs right across Metro Vancouver. Gray skies. It is not very nice out there for the last day of August. The rain started early last night. It hasn't really stopped across much of the south coast. The roads are very slippery. The lights are out at several major intersections, and many roads are still covered in debris from Saturday's windstorm. Meteorologist Russ LeCate says more of this wet weather is on the way today.
Again, it's that subtropical moisture that's in today's jet stream, but it's coming at us from a slightly different orientation. We're not going to get the severe winds today. We're going to get downpours instead. There's not enough wind to suspend that rain in the air, so a lot of the lower mainland gets soaked.
Now, BC Hydro crews have been working right around the clock since Saturday's intense weather system moved through the area. At the peak of the storm, an estimated 500,000 people were left without power. Tens of thousands of customers are still in the dark this morning. For more on those outages, let's go to Andrea McPherson, who's been keeping her eye on the BC Hydro situation all morning long. Andrea.
Good morning, Kyle. We're around 53,000 customers still without power, between 53,000 and 60,000 this morning. BC Hydro's website has been down since much of this storm started. It has been intermittently working this morning, though. We do have the latest graph of the latest power outage situation. They are still requesting you follow them on Twitter for the most accurate information, though. And the most accurate information we have right now is, I think we have a shot coming up here. There we go. Langley and Surrey, 30,000 customers still without power. Delta and North Delta, around 4,000 customers without power. Abbotsford, about 4,900 people still in the dark. The Mountain Lehman area is the one mainly affected right now. Over to Vancouver and Burnaby, 9,000. Burnaby's substation is being worked on. That's creating major problems this morning. Coquitlam and Maple Ridge, too, about 8,500 still without power. We do know crews are working to repair a circuit right now in Coquitlam and Port Coquitlam, and they're hoping to restore power to about 18, make that 1,180 customers. We also know there are about 400 workers from right across the province trying to get your power back on in your home right now.
Talking to one of our senior field managers, he's been with us for 35 years, and he said he's never seen anything like it. It's the single biggest event that we've had in recent memory.
In fact, BC Hydro estimates that this is the worst storm our area has seen since about 2006. And we should also mention, too, there have been some issues with TELUS reporting issues with TELUS landline service, I should say, this morning. Landline service down for thousands of TELUS customers. If you do have an emergency, you're asked to call 911 on your cell phone. I can also tell you that Capilano University is closed today because of this latest windstorm, as well as the Surrey night market. Kyle.
Lots going on this morning. All right, thanks a lot for that, Andrea. Now, as Andrea mentioned, thousands of people still without power. Many have been without service for almost 48 hours now. Greg Harper is live in one of those neighborhoods this morning. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. Some wind, some rain, and still no power in this Surrey neighborhood. We're very close to Tynehead Park. For those that live here, they've been without power now for over 40 hours. People like Les, who joins us now. You live directly behind us. Correct. What has the last 40 hours or so been like for you, and how you've been dealing with this?
Last 40 hours have been absolutely brutal. It's haven't been dealing with it well. Had to cook everything in my freezer and fridge because there's just no power. Thought we were going to get away with it the first time Hydro told us that their power was going to be restored to this area, but they've done that 3 times now, and still no power. It keeps changing. A little information would be helpful, but we're not even getting that in adequacy.
Well, BC Hydro has been heavily criticized. I have spoken to a number of your neighbors who are frustrated and annoyed. How do you feel overall that BC Hydro has dealt with and continues to deal with this situation?
Oh, I'm sure they're working diligently, and I'm sure they're quite taxed, but it doesn't help me. I work from home on the internet. I got no power. I haven't had power for almost 2 solid days now. It's tough. It's really tough.
How do you feel that it might be tonight sometime before power is restored?
I wouldn't like that at all. I mean, got to do laundry. I mean, life goes on. A little warning, if they'd have told us it was going to be 2 days, I could have dealt with that. But this incremental, you know, suggestion that it's going to come back on anytime, it just doesn't work. Not at all. More information.
Thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
It'll be a challenging day for Les. It's been a challenging weekend, and for many others who live in Surrey. Kyle?
All right, Greg Harper, nice work this morning, live for us this morning in Surrey. Let's talk about traffic. It has been a nightmare for many people on all of the roads right across the region since Saturday's storm. A number of intersections still without power this morning. Dawn Chubey is covering that angle for us. She's live this morning in Burnaby. Dawn.
Yeah, you know, and Kyle, speaking of challenges that Greg was talking about, even to get to this location was a challenge. We are here at Kensington Ave at Canada Way, and you can see actually the traffic westbound on Canada Way is pretty backed up, though eastbound is fine. Certainly on Highway 1, we are seeing significant backups. This is not alone because, of course, we have the traffic lights out here, but take a look at some crazy footage that was shot in Surrey last night at about 8:15, 96th Avenue at 122nd Street. You could see drivers making their way through the intersection, not obeying the rules. Remember back in driver ed when we learned what happened if you have traffic lights out? Yes, treat intersections as a four-way stop, and it seems like everyone's past education has kind of been flown out the window or maybe washed away in the rain. We definitely have people that are trying to make their way through the intersection here. At this point, I haven't seen anyone sort of not obey the rules. Everyone seems to be following along just fine, but Kyle, certainly that means for some significant backups. And I gotta say too, I saw a cyclist trying to make his way across the street here on Canada Way, and it is dangerous. It is certainly dangerous for anyone that is out here. So take your time, please, and follow the rules of the road as we deal with what could be an outage for some time yet here at Kensington and Canada Way.
Good reminder for that four-way stop procedure when the lights are out. Thanks for that, Dawn Chubey in Burnaby this morning. Now, no power means no business for many merchants right across the South Coast. That includes this neighborhood in Burnaby. The Crystal Mall on Kingsway had no electricity for much of the weekend, and business owners extremely frustrated with BC Hydro's response.
Very frustrated because it's not like them to have no power for so long, and it's 2 days now. So I think the loss is substantial to us, the business, people who wants to open business